All right. Well, again, welcome back to the Target Trading.
Podcast.
Michael
Yeah.
Fabiano, maybe possibly Randall's podcast. I don't know. I'm sure we'll come up with a name eventually. But thanks for joining us again, there, Randman.
Hey, thanks for having me again, dude. It was a blast last time. Hopefully it'll be
Well,
just as good this time.
heck yeah, absolutely. What's been going on in the trading lately? Since
Yeah. Markets are the as we saw this morning, news came out, right? And we
yeah,
had a big tank in the market. And then now
yeah,
look what's happened in the afternoon. Actually early morning, just now past 12 noon. The markets are back up above, let's see, let me take a look. They're above the previous session's range.
yeah.
So, the market's rebounded. I don't even know what the news was. I don't even pay attention to the news,
I know.
other than
I
the
didn't
fact
either.
that I know when it's coming out, and then we want to follow what the charts are, what the market is telling us that it's doing.
Yeah. Well, I
And
saw that. I was looking at gold, and I was
right,
looking to possibly do like a gap fill, but there wasn't that much room between, and we were still in the range,
yeah,
previous
gap
day's
fill
range.
this morning for um, gold. We opened up right below the right inside of the HVA area, almost on top of the previous the point of control, and so
Right.
that would not been a good gap fill to try to take. And then we had
Well, I mean,
news.
I did take it in crude,
And it
and
opened.
got smoked on it.
Let me see what
Um,
you did. All right, so when we opened in oil, we opened right at the HVA edge. And when you
Here,
want to take
I'll pull it up.
pull
I'll
it up,
pull it
right?
up. I'll pull up the trade so that you can see it. Where was it? Wow, look at how much it's been moving ever since.
Hmm.
Wait, no, that's YM. Sorry, I don't know why I switched.
Yeah, that's not. I was going to say I
There
don't
it
think.
is. Okay. Wow.
So you went back. This is 2 days now, right? This
Oh yeah, I don't know why they
yesterday.
didn't. There it is, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
There it is.
So the open.
It was right in the middle of that.
Yeah, put your
The
right about there. Yeah,
Yeah, you can
and
see.
you
I
know
got
the opening range. Let's see that is. Are we looking at oil? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you could definitely take that. And I'm not sure why you got smoked on that one.
I would
What?
have been. It would have been. I was up like I think 250 or 285 at one point, and then it went against me, and then came back and slammed down right there, and took me out. You can see
Well,
where I got taken
are
out.
you using max risk when you take these trades? When you
Yeah, I
take
took Pip. That was Pit
that did
Viper on that one on 3 lots.
so which what it's hard for me to see where you got into that. I can't see that from with the screen that you have there.
Yeah, it's because of order flow here. There
Yeah,
we go.
perfect, perfect. All right, so you got in.
Right there. I mean, pretty good
Yeah,
fill.
yeah, pretty good fill. And then it did run back up. It happens though, dude. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was thinking about taking it, but I'll be honest. I was thinking it's at least gonna make a strong run back up to that, and it did. It's
yeah.
just it came down, stopped me out first, and then
And
flew
then went
back
into
up.
direct. Of course,
Yeah.
it when the market moves in. So what price did you get in? Should have
um.
gotten in around 82.25, 82.26.
$24.
Okay.
Yeah, 82.24.
Okay. Yeah, it could be the difference between your charts and my charts. Okay, so
Yeah.
24 max risk on that would be 30 ticks. Is that 30 ticks to 04?
Yeah, and then I got out
24. Dude, I don't know why you got stopped out on that. If you have max risk on. I really don't.
Yeah.
If you're
I don't
using
either.
max risk. Wow. Because it's not, I mean,
where I got it out. Right there. That's where it nailed me.
yeah, I can see it.
I don't know why. You think it moved? I don't think
Huh?
it moved. I don't think it would have moved. It put me in.
Yeah, at 24, right? 24 and minus 30. Should have been 06 is where you should have gotten, would have been max risk. Where did it take you out? It should tell you right there.
82.24.
Well, max risk on oil is 30 points.
Right.
So it should have been 06. Yeah, it would have taken you out. Yep, it hit it. I'm looking at it now. I just wasn't looking
No,
at
wait.
it.
82.06? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where it says
Yeah.
long stop. That is 82.06.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it hit. Sorry.
Yeah, that, hey,
Yeah.
two ticks. It went down to 04.
Yep.
Hey.
That is how it worked. Okay,
Yep.
I was looking at it.
Yep.
I was looking at it wrong, but yeah, that is.
Now,
I got in
that's a big hit.
24 and the
With three
82.06.
contracts, that is a big hit, dude. That's a big hit.
Yeah, I know. 540, just quick start to the day. So then I was on the phone explaining the Pit Viper to a student,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, I don't. This isn't that solid. I was like, plus if I'm trading based on our rules, I'm actually done trading for the day. I was like, so I'm going to switch over to Sim here, which I did, and check this out. It was full out Pit Viper in action.
Where are we? What market are we in? Can you blow that up a little bit? Can you even blow the?
Can you see now?
No,
that
make
better?
It the other way. The other way. And enlarge it on the time x-axis. The other direction. Other direction. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, gotcha. So then, yeah, watch.
Let's see. Let me see where. I don't see where you got in.
No, you'll see.
Okay.
Because it jumped a bunch afterwards. It was right before that, right there. So that one I took.
So you're taking a reversal there, right?
That was a reversal. Came in, bounced off of it. This was live. I had two people on the phone as I was going through with it, and I was like, basically, this is the Pit Viper. This is how it works. If it fills me at that point, it's going to put me right into the market. It'll put in a two different targets for me. It's going to put me in on 3 lots. It'll automatically put in my protective stop.
Okay, so blow that chart up if you could, like we had it before. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And just do Control Alt to move it down, or Control left click, whatever it is, to slide it up. Yeah. And make it a little bit bigger for these old eyes. No, you're doing good. Yeah. Okay, so here's my comment on this particular trade. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you got in. Did you have 1-to-1 when you got in? No, you didn't.
No.
So I never would have taken that trade. It worked out. Pit Viper put you into the trade,
Yeah.
but it's not a valid reversal. Okay.
And that's what I told him also. I was like, this isn't
This is how it works. Yeah.
This isn't something I would take personally, but you can see how
you were
it actually ended
demonstrating
up
how
working
Pit
out
Viper
perfectly.
works. It's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly, you threw it on there. Yeah, Pit Viper brought you, put it like 2 ticks. Were we in ES? 2 ticks above, and boom, brought you in, and it ran. You
Yeah,
just got lucky on that one. That's all.
for sure.
Now,
For sure.
if you
I mean,
go up to where you got
great.
out of that trade, where it took you out of that, you had that trailing stop on that. Yeah.
It did.
So
Yeah, it trailed
go
up
back.
all the way. I didn't touch a thing.
Beautiful. And so, but that's not a reversal. Now we had a fabulous inverse trade. The one over to your right, okay, where those
Right there.
flow
That's where
rider,
Flow Rider
right,
actually
flow rider
generated it
kicked
too.
in. Man, I'm telling you, that's money. All
Yeah,
right, so here's why. Okay,
Yep.
so we're above the previous session's range. We have penetrated far enough above, and when we reverse back down to where your cursor is sitting, you see those blue dotted lines. If you want to move your cursor up to those blue dotted lines, no, above you.
These ones.
Yeah. So that's your room to run. Okay.
Right.
And when it traded through that area, or traded through the HVA area, stopped going up there, and you come back down. So where pip order flow indicated, that was a perfect place to get in there. That is exactly what Flow Rider is designed to do.
Yep.
When you trade up, stop going higher, pull back down, you get those blue bars, get in. That would have been a great trade. Now look where we stopped on the way up. Right, it's right at the bottom, at the top of HVA. Inverse trade, beautiful inverse trade, exactly what we want to do. And that Flow Rider's just giving us a confirmation of taking that trade. Now I missed that trade. I don't know. I was doing something this morning. I took a trade early in the day. I forget where I took it. It was a small winner in the ES. But
nice. Okay.
Yeah. But that, my friend, is what this method is all about. Okay.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
I mean, look at. I mean, if you would have let that thing even run, look at Patrick's lines, right? So these, for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, these are the lines that Patrick draws in the night before, right? Comes down, literally
not that line. No, he draws in that where your cursor is right there, and down to the green line below you. Yeah. All right, so that, folks, is an HVA. That's an HVA edge. And Patrick Asselone draws these HVA edges all the time. He is really, really good at this. Now, get this. If you really want to learn how to draw those HVA edges, he'll teach you how to draw them. Okay? But it's an art. And it's an art and a science, a combination of it. But he's really good at teaching people how to draw these HVA edges as well. So if you want to be able to do it yourself, this is a great tool for you to have.
Or if you don't want to draw them in on your own and just take
exactly. Why do that?
And that's what just voila is for.
Right. That's what voila is all about. It's a wonderful thing. And so then we get another indicator, Flow Rider, that is for trending trades, and that's right where you have your cursor right there, those blue lines. Now, when it's really a strong buyer, it will be a dark blue. So that's a light color blue. It's a good indicator that it's going to go higher. There's no guarantees in this, though, right? It could go against you, but in this particular case, it went with you. It's a trending trade, so you can do what we call cover and run. You can have start out with 3 contracts and then take 2 off at your target and then trail the 3rd one. It's a fabulous way. And look what you would have made. I mean, if you had trailed it all the way up, let's see if you would have been stopped out with a 2-bar stop or one. Let's use a 1-bar stop. Yeah, we would have been stopped out. It we would have been stopped out. So Michael, move your cursor to the right. the other right, the other way, move it up to the right. There you go. So we would have had our protective stop at half a point below that, or actually 1 point below that bar, and the next 2 bars over from there, you would have been taken out. So you wouldn't have been able to
Right. For
participate
the one
in
bar. Yep.
You're right.
Which, in all honesty, I mean, if this had been valid to get in, right? This is
Right.
a perfect like idea of what Pit Viper does, right? I mean,
Oh yeah,
put
it's
me
exactly.
in there,
Put you in there,
took
and
me
you
out
wrote it
on
up.
2 there. I
Right.
got in on 3 contracts there, and took me out on 2 contracts there. Continued to move in my direction. It moved up my protective stop to break even to there, and then it moved it up to here to break even and lock in profit. It locked it in, and then went up to that last contract and automatically took me out right there.
Right
there, where
that's
that was.
exact. So that's what we wanted on the other one, where it gave us a valid entry, but we'd still made money on the trade, right?
Right. That's right.
You can't complain about that. I mean, it would have worked. The method really works.
It does.
And Pit Viper works too.
Right. I mean, and if you would have got in here on that Flow Rider one, right? And
yeah, you'd have gotten in on that second blue bar. Potentially, you could have gotten in. It's hard to see where it would have gotten in. It's two.
And if you
be
just
2 ticks above.
If you really let that thing run, though, I mean, look.
Yeah.
Let's just put it into. Let me see, because it's 4304. Call it. And it's, what is it, still going up? No.
Yep.
Directly to the other HVA that Patrick called out. Directly.
Right.
Oh, even went through it and started turning around again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did they say? 4304. Let's just call it up to that next edge, right? Which is called 4335. That's a 31 point runner. If you were in on
31 points at 50,
small as 2 contracts, it's a $3,100 trade.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yep, for sure. But I mean, it's cool because I'm sure a lot of people watching this don't actually know how the count works, and for you to take that trade, you would only have to have technically $1,000 in your account to trade at 2 contracts in Ninja Trader, right? Call it, if you want to have, the safety net, call it 3, enough to cover 3. So $1,500 into your account to do that. You were only risking, how much is the swing bar on that?
Well, yeah. Tell me the size of the swing bar. It looked to be about a point, maybe a point and a half.
I think it was a 1.75 actually.
Okay. Now go over to the blue bar, the first blue bar. What's the size of that?
Started at 4303.
No, what's the top and the bottom of that bar?
Yep, 43. Oh, well, actual bottom of it. Yeah, sorry, 4303.25.
4403.25, and the top was what?
No, 4303.25.
Okay, and that was the bottom or the top?
That was the bottom.
And what's the top?
4304.25. So it was actually
1 point.
Just 1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
So 1 point, we add 1.5 points to that for our entry and for our protective stop. So we were risking 2.5 points. 2.5 points. And
so on 2 contracts, that's $250 worth of risk.
Yep.
And if you would have rode that up, that would have been a $3,100 winner. And the time on that, just so everyone's clear, I'm on French time, but call it 29 up to, so that was 5:29. Up to 59. That was a 20-minute trade in 20 minutes.
That's absolutely amazing. All right. And you're done for the day.
That's a runner.
Yeah, that is a runner.
Right.
somebody used to call those 10-point moves 10-point Charlies,
10-point
and
Charlies.
right,
It's DOB.
DOB and yeah, DOB calls them 10-point Charlies, but
Yep.
yeah, that would have been more than a 10-point Charlie if
So
you
how
could have
many?
had the guts to just stay in, and not.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you. Have you?
You see,
How many of you had the guts to stay in and let run like that?
none. I want to take my profits and yeah, I get my target. Okay, so what this method teaches us, right? It teaches us to get our 1-to-1. That's the beautiful thing about money management with Patrick's method.
Explain that 1-to-1.
Sure.
I
So,
don't think people know what you're
in the
talking about.
example we were using a 2.5-point risk on that particular case. So to get to a 1-to-1, the market has to run up to at least 2.5 points from your point of entry. If you do that, you've met your 1-to-1. That's where you do the cover and run, and you take a majority of your contracts off and let the other one run. You get to break even as quickly as you can, and you just keep moving it up, moving it up. So 1-to-1 just means that whatever the size of your swing bar is, plus your risk associated with the trade. Each trade and each commodity that we use has certain parameters. ES, our entry point, is a 0.5 point, and then we have a protective stop of 1 point. So on that particular trade, we were risking 2.5 points to make at least 2.5 points for 1 or 2 contracts, however many contracts we're trading, right? So that's what a 1-to-1 is. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
To me, it did.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
sure
the question is, will somebody else that's
comments.
listening to this, will they understand that? And when you get into the ramp up room area, that's where I spend a lot of time explaining this in detail to people. And if you don't get it, I make sure that you get it. I spend a lot of time with people, helping them, trying to get them to be disciplined enough to take it the way we teach you how to trade it. Now, can you do this manually? You can. I did when I first started this. I still do on occasion. We'll take manual trades. But I'm telling you what, Pit Viper, it is by far one of the best things that we have out there for the students to use.
I'm glad you brought that up. I meone of the cool things that I love about your class, and I wish I was up late enough to attend more. But one of the things I love about your class, man, is that it's basically like a private mentorship. You allow people to turn on their microphones just like me and you are doing right now, and ask any questions that they have. Like, hey, man, I don't really understand what the hell you just said. Can you go through and break that back down? And then you do that. I mean, there's no having to.
Yeah, I do that one night a week. I do that one night a week because during class sessions, if I let everybody try to talk, it would be chaos. So yeah, I do that. Yeah, for sure. And it does. And thanks for saying that because, I never really, sometimes you get good feedback or you don't get any feedback at all. That's the worst scenario. But yeah, it does my heart good to see people do it and do it well, actually progress through things. And, Patrick came up with this method, and I'm just the one that gets to talk to the people about it. And actually went through it just like they are going through when they first start this thing. And so I know what they're feeling. I know their angst or whatever the word that is.
Yeah. Because back when you started, there was no onboarding or anything like that.
No, nothing like this.
Walk you through and teach
no.
How long would you say it took you to just even grasp? Because you didn't know anything about even how the markets moved at that point, right? Like how much money you would make. I'm sure they gave you a brief walkthrough of like if the market moves.
They gave us this manual, and it was probably an inch thick of what to do, and just try it. And then you would be looking at their screen, and I didn't even have the same software that they would have. So I would see a setup and I would try to take the trade based upon what I'm on the screen and then translate it into the screen that I'm looking at in the software that I was using, which
Yeah.
at the time was Sierra Charts.
Oh, really?
Then, yeah. So then I wised up and said, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to get the software that they're using. And at the time, they were only using Blue Water, and
Right.
I cut my teeth on Blue Water and how to do it. So, how long did it take me to learn it? A lot longer than it should have.
But like even just the basics, how long do you think it took you just like back then the way that it was set up, based on
2
now
years.
having onboarding and stuff to even just get the basics
2
down?
years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, took me. But
Big change,
I really
right?
wanted to do this, to be able to stick with that long.
Yeah.
And fail as many times as I've failed. Um, you know, you just got to be willing and disciplined enough to stick with this. And but the beautiful thing about this, I had no stop management whatsoever, and that's the thing that Patrick's method, especially when you get into money management, teaches you. It teaches you to have those stops. Now, people say, "Oh, well, I use stops." Do you? Do you put them on every single time you put a trade? Oh, no. If it gets down to that area, I'm willing to risk that much. Like what you did today. Okay, I applaud you for doing that. All right, you took a max risk trade, and a max risk trade, you're risking 30 points. If the market goes against you, it goes against you. It did. It low ticked your ass
Right.
by 2 ticks and then went in the direction that you want.
Right.
That's the frustrating part. But you have to have those stops in place, because what if you didn't have that? Instead of being 30 ticks, it's going to go back in the other direction. Yeah, how do you know? Are you a mind reader? Do you know what's going to happen on the right-hand side of the screen? No, neither
So
am I.
wishing a prayer.
Yeah, wishing a prayer. You can't, trading's not all about that, right?
No.
There's value to wishing and there's a value to praying, but trading is not one of those things that you want to do that. You want to have hard stops in there to protect your hard-earned assets. It could have dropped down another 60 points. It didn't. It low ticked you and then went in your direction, which is what we always hate, but it happens. But it took me quite a while to do this. Now, what am I seeing with other students? How quickly are they learning? Well, it just depends upon how much time they can devote to doing this.
Putting the reps in.
Right. You got to put the reps in. And, what I'm seeing on average, it takes students 15 to 20 trades to really grasp what a reversal is. Now, some students pick it up. The fastest I've had is 5. And that's one of your students that you brought on, Jay Patel. He
he's crushing it, man.
Jay is crushing it. And yeah,
I gave him a shout out on the morning email today for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I saw that. So it takes students, 15 trades to get the basic reversal down now. Now, there are other things that you got to take into consideration in part of those reps. How many times has it been to the edge? Once, twice, 3? Those are the things that you'll learn in the rest of the first 100 trades. Now, it's not going to take a student 100 trades to get to the point that they get into money management. I have seen 2 people that it's taken them that long, and all the students that we've worked with. And it's just that their computer skills were not real good, or, they just didn't grasp the idea. But they eventually got it. And it just took them a little bit longer. That's the other beautiful thing about the program that we have. You can learn at your own pace. And it's really, really cool. So how about your experience, though, man? I mean, you and I, we go back, I guess we met, 4 years ago, 5 years ago now?
4. All 4, yeah.
Yeah. So how was it for you?
Well, I could only trade the Globex. I could only trade the Globex. They wouldn't let me trade during the day in the beginning, and for some reason my app got declined when I was trying to get Blue Water, so I couldn't trade on there either. I ended up starting at Trade Station, which usually it would be harder to get anyways. But that's
Yeah,
where I
but
was.
that's a
But they had
terrible platform.
way higher margins too, like way higher.
Mhm.
So that's where I started. But I would just take reversions. That's all I knew because I was explaining it basically on the phone all day. And so
Right.
I would see it come into play, and that's kind of how I learned how it got set up. And that's just the honest to God truth. I saw it repeatedly so many times explaining it to other people from
But
Dan's
how long did
program.
it take you to grasp that? 10
Um,
trades, 20 trades?
oh, well, by the time I started trading live, I had a grasp on it. It took me the better part of a year and a half to actually to get to the point where I knew what I
Right.
was talking about or
But
even ready to start the account.
but you weren't trading full time. You were teaching, or not really teaching, but you were explaining the
Explaining
method
it.
to potential students. And
Right.
you know, when people ask you, whenever you're selling something, you have to, I think, have to be bought into the product and be able to do it
Have to.
yourself.
That's how I
Um,
got started. That's why I got started. Obviously the bonus of making the money was good, but I can't sell anything unless I know
believe
what
in
I'm
it.
talking about.
Yeah,
Or yeah, or
yeah,
if I have to believe in it, of course, but I also have to know what I'm talking about. I have to understand it, down to a way that I can explain it. And I was always the one. I could never explain it just having the room. I remember getting to the point where I started to get good at it, and I explained like, all right, I have to have Blue Water in front of me to be able to move the charts and explain this stuff, because then I can make it clear. And I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have got to that point unless I just jumped in and started messing around
right.
on a simulator and trying to learn it. And then once I could execute it on a simulator, right? And
Hmm.
then I could start just putting it in play and practicing, and then obviously then I could explain it way easier, which just made all of the sales process even easier, right?
Right.
And then I got to the point where I was actually trading it. Um,
Gotcha.
and that was a game changer. I mean, and it not only was a game changer, it was a life changer. I mean, that really moment changed the rest of my life and my career and everything that's brought
Everything
me to
else
where I am right
associated,
now.
yeah, where you are
You know,
exactly right now. Yeah.
well, that's right.
So it's really cool stuff to see, like what you experienced, like what I experienced, to see students do the same thing. And it's just the part of being dedicated. If you are dedicated to this,
Yeah,
you don't have to commit. So, I mean, you have to commit time to it, certainly, but it
about an hour a day.
doesn't. Yeah,
About an hour a day, really.
maybe two. If you
Yep,
want to, if you want to progress along really quickly,
faster.
yeah, three to
Yep.
4 hours a day. If you
Yep.
can do that. Now, can you do it in the Globex like you were talking about doing? You can, but man, it's like watching paint dry. God, I hate trading.
And that's
I
that's see, that's I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the difference in between starting out on the Globex and then moving into it and moving into the day session, because I could
mm,
only trade the Globex. So to me, that's all I knew. And also, when I was starting out, that was the first time that I actually started taking live trades, was on the Globex. So that's when I could really truly look at it, and I had the time to take it and say, oh, there's my entry point. Here's where my stop is going to be,
right,
and here's where my target price is going to be. And I
a
could do that, and I
beautiful
could
thing,
manipulate
right?
it. I would literally, I remember, I would get home and I'd just kind of glance at the market. I'd put it up. I was poor. I didn't have much money at all. But I had like a big screen TV and a laptop, and I connected them both, and I would put it on while I was making dinner. and I would come
Right.
out and I would look at the screen and I would wait for a reversion of the mean to come into play. And if it did, it would take a while, but I was so excited when it came into play. I would just toss the trade on, and then I could truly break down and get a little bit more intricate as time went by about
Right.
where my exact
Right.
entry point would be and where I should put my protective stop and where I should put my target. And so for me, that first time you make money is a game changer. It's like, this is the coolest thing on earth. I don't know. I don't want to do anything else. This is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I can make money that quick, that fast.
Exactly.
Even the glowbacks, it's, when you make $300-400 and all you have done is applied a method, clicked a couple of buttons, and you make money.
Yep. Exactly.
Pretty cool stuff, right? So, when we do the next session, assuming you want to do another one,
of course, buddy, absolutely.
I would maybe let's put together I'll actually demonstrate how we do run the ramp up room, and I'll present on my end.
That's a great idea.
And just run that and see what happens, right? So
let's do it, man.
Just a thought to think about. I'm not saying that we're ending now, but I wanted to get that out there before I forgot. So, there's some disadvantages to having all this gray hair that I got.
Hey, well, look at this. I mean, look at how successful you are, buddy, and that you can run your own room no matter at what age. And
this is true.
Anybody can do this thing. You just have to, like you said before, you have to be committed to it, just like anything else in life. If you want it, you can do it, and we do have a way that'll teach you how to do it. 100%. You want to learn how to do it, and you want to learn intricately where to get in, where to get out, where to place your protective stop, all of the good stuff. If you want to ask all of what nobody else would do, ask all of those questions where a lot of people would get very annoyed. That's what you can do, and that's a pretty big part of our program. I truly feel is that it's not somebody raving about, I made $1 billion one time, or I made a couple million
one time, right? Yeah, one time. Yeah. How many other times did you lose? Right?
Exactly.
It's accountability. That's the other thing that Patrick's program brings is that the accountability. Because if you keep secrets, the secrets will come back to bite you.
Yeah.
If it's just like playing golf. So I'll play golf with guys, and they'll say, "Oh, I've got a 9 handicap." Yeah, maybe a 19 handicap. They lie, and they want to make themselves in their minds feel like, "Oh, I'm a 9 or 10 handicapper," and it's really not a big deal what type of handicapper you are. It's just, do you enjoy the game? And when you have a handicap, you're setting yourself up to fail if you lie about what you've scored, because that a true handicap is something to rely upon when you're playing other people, so that you can play on a level playing field. So lying about things and fudging on, that was I actually took a 7, but I'm going to write down a 5, right?
Yeah.
Why? Just put the 7 down.
What do you learn from that? Yep.
Yeah.
Same way. If you, even in the beginning, if you were to start trading on sim and do it at 20 to 40 contracts. Why? What do
you have the money to take a 20 contract trade? Right. Oh my God. If I did, I wouldn't be here, right?
Right. Well, even if
I'd have somebody else doing it, which, by the way,
contracts is only $10,000 on Ninja for the ES. Put it like that. So yes, but you can't have the money, but do you have the balls?
Do you have the balls? So this is something else that we've gotten recently. This letter of direction that we're going to be offering students, dude, this is going to be a life changer for a lot of people.
Game changer. Yep.
Yeah. So as we move through this and get more into it, that's something else that we could chat about as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But letter of direction, for those who are listening, what is that? Well, that's you giving somebody the authorization to trade your money based upon the methods that we're talking about, but in a group, like a block. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. A block of traders that are doing this, and are doing it with your money with a block of other people, so that you can participate in the profits, but you're also going to participate in the losses. I'm going to tell everyone right now, there's not always going to be winning trades. Even when you learn how to do this, I mean, Michael, you spoke about it earlier. You got nailed on an oil trade, live, real money. You got nailed.
Yep.
But then you stopped. That's the other part of the discipline that we have. But this letter of direction you'll have to participate in those things, whether or not we're winning or losing. And it's just going to be a life changer for a lot of people, because they don't have the time to devote to making their money earn what it should be earning. So it's just something.
And then it's fully, I mean, it's broken down with Patrick's money management structure, which is not. Yep. That's the coolest thing, is it's not a black box program by any means.
No.
It knows all of that stuff, and that's what the letter of direction is. It has to follow the direction that we give it, and it will not participate in the market unless it meets the requirements of our program and everything basically that we just walked through. Which is. It's
phenomenal. It really is. It's going to be for a lot of people, and it's going to open it up to people who do not have millions of dollars, because
to be able to get in right now.
Yeah,
it's $1,000 to get in right now.
Yeah, to get in right now.
You have to have at least a $10,000 account, but it's $1,000 to get in.
$1,000 and $10,000 to. You can actually do it for less, but it's not. I wouldn't recommend less than $10,000. Putting into it, but
for the one that we're talking about, you're gonna want 10. But I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's I'm excited about it,
dude. I am too. That's why I brought it up. I thought, let's talk about that a little bit too. I mean, we got so many good things, and I just wish I had learned about this when I was your age, for God's sakes. Right?
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because I was into cell phones and that kind of technology when I was in college, and I would spend hours. I was a theme and app developer for BlackBerry.
Okay? Oh, okay. I remember the BlackBerries. They were great phones.
They were.
Yeah.
And I would build these different applications and themes for people, and it would take me hours, like 14 hours, and people all over the world. I had clients, but they would pay me like $20. It took me 14 hours to build, sometimes longer, and then I would get paid like $20. And $20 for a theme at the time, which you could get in the store for like a couple, like $3 to $5. I mean, that's pretty good, but it was customized. Like, they would tell me what they wanted and stuff like that. But yeah, I was a geek on that stuff, and then once I got into trading technology, I saw this and I saw this.
You became a geek about this.
Yeah, I was like, "What am I doing? Wasting my time on $20 for 14 hours? Like, that's dumb." And now it's funny you say that, because I wish even back then, when I was doing that stuff, I wish I would have learned about it even back then, because. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, and we have a couple students in our program that started out
right now. We've got
18 years old.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about him. His dad went through this program. His dad is success at this program. He saw the success, and he says, he paid for his son to get into the program.
He's 14 though, right?
No. His son's 17, will be 18 in November.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, we have another one that was 18 that was another student I brought on that his dad didn't even do it, but he paid for him to get in. And so,
Oh, really?
So 1 to 17. Yeah. Yeah. So he was 18 when he started. He was still in high school when he started. And now he's trading live. He's already a live trader.
So, yeah. There you go. So it works even for young people. Actually, it's easier for them because they're more computer savvy than this old decrepit old man. At least I can laugh about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Man. Got it, right?
Yeah. So, what else you want to talk about? Do we need to wrap up?
I think, I think we're at that sweet spot, buddy. This has been fun. It always is. Every single time, man, we get into it. It's just like,
it just rolls, right? It's so much fun, man. I have so much fun doing that. And again, I apologize for missing last week, but whenever we can do this again, I'm ready to do it again.
Oh, me too. We'll get it set up. Everybody that's listening, you guys can plan on having some more fun with me and Randall. Just tune in. We'll get everything out to you.
We got to figure out what we're going to name this podcast.
We do. We got to.
I think.
What do you think?
Oh man, I should have had that screen on the whole time. It lit up my face a little bit better. Oh well, live and learn, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll mull on that and think what we can name it. I think we call it the Fabiano Show. Fabiano Show.
Trades with Fab.
There you go. Yeah. All right, man.
Oh, this has been fun. You can end it